Okay, today's video is going to be how I'm going to fix this handbrake. As you can see, lever comes all the way up, nothing happens. All the way up, nothing happens. It is slightly catching on one side, however I know already what the problem is and I've ordered the part to fix it. So what we're going to do today is get the wheel off and have a little look, and we'll be back in a second. Okay, so like I was saying, we've pulled the handbrake cable and you can see that it comes all the way up. It doesn't actually affect it. What we're going to do is have a quick look underneath the van and I'll show you what the actual fault is and how I'm going to fix it. Okay, you can just see the cable hanging down. That's actually the rear left handbrake cable. It's hanging down like that because I pulled it through, so it's actually snapped at the wheel side. So what we're going to do is replace the rear left cable, and that should put my handbrake back to normal. Here's hoping anyway. So first job is going to be get that wheel off. So we're going to have to jack the van up. Now to do this, being an old Transit, I don't really want to stick a jack on the sills. The sills are nice and clean and tidy right along there, as you can see. Okay, I don't particularly want to be sticking a jack on that, so I'm going to try and jack it up from the wheel, from the axle, and see how that works for me. Okay, so that was a bit tougher than it should have been. Took ages to wind the jack up. I've also got an axle stand line underneath there as well. I also had to hit this off with a bloody hammer. I don't think it's been off in a long time. So what we'll do is we'll get this out of the way. As a general rule of thumb, when working under a vehicle, make sure you get things to prop it up. I have an axle stand under there, but I'm also going to drop this wheel under. Try to do this one down there isn't much fun, but hey ho. That way if the van collapses, it's going to land on the wheel and not me. That's the plan. Okay, so next step, you can see the handbrake cable's there. Next step is to get this drum off, and then we can get about replacing this cable. So I'll pause this just now and we'll be back shortly. Okay, this is my brake drum removal kit. A couple of levers, big screwdrivers normally. I have a tie lever, so I will use that. A couple of hammers. And what you'll invariably end up having to do is tap the drum to get it to remove. Now obviously I'm recording this on my phone, so I can't do it at the same time as recording. So what I'm going to do is pause this and I will come back and show you what happens once I've taken the drum off. It's not a difficult job, but it can be time consuming. Okay, so as you can see, the drum's still in place. It's a bit of a pig to get out. I managed to move it slightly. I think there's probably a lip on the inside of the drum. A bit of research online says I'm supposed to poke through that little hole there, you can see, and knock the adjusters off. The problem I've got is I can't get around that far behind it. So, a bit of perseverance with a big stick, and we'll see if we can knock it off. And I'll come back to you shortly. Okay, as you can see, I managed to get the drum off. A lot of perseverance. Really, a really difficult job. In the end up, I actually used a drift down this front plate, both sides, just one after another. Used a thick chisel, and it lifted the drum clean off. You can see where it's been sticking. You can also see the broken handbrake cable, which we're now about to replace. So, I'm going to give this a bit of a clean up in here while I'm here. I have some cleaner, so I'll use it. I'll give this a clean. The shoes look okay, not too bad. This one's a bit thinner than the other. But I'll give it all a good clean up, and then we'll get on to replacing the handbrake cable. So I'll pause it for now and come back in a moment. Okay, I don't know if you can see, the new cable's there. You can see this chain silver spring, and behind is attached to the adjuster arm. These are all back in place. I've given it a wee bit of a clean up. Proper grease on the adjuster. Now what I've got to do is take this cable, this one, you can see here, I need to take that out and run a new one, and they're press fitted at the end. They just push into place. All I need to do at the moment is drop that spring that you can see there. It has to go back on. Once I've got that back on, I'm then ready to fit the other side of the cable, and I'll come back then. Okay, so I've hit a bit of a snag. I'm putting the brakes back together, which is fairly straightforward, but I have a feeling there's a spring missing because there's nothing there to tension the handbrake cable. So I'm going to just flip it around and let you see, so bear with me a second. Okay, this is what came out from the drum. Once the drum was removed, that's the old part of the handbrake cable. As you can see there, it's got the end on it. It's completely snapped and destroyed. This was actually sticking out the drum. But I also have this unidentifiable piece of spring. Now I have a feeling that that's designed to go on the bottom of the brake shoes. So I'll try and let you see underneath. I think there must be somewhere that spring attaches. So for the moment, I think I'm a bit stuck because that spring doesn't look like it fits there, although it did come off from there. I managed to put that back on somehow. So I'm going to pause and have a little play around and see what I think. I may have to send Siobhan down to get a spring kit, so bear with me. So that's all the springs back into place, as you can see. I don't think I needed another spring. I actually think the bit of spring that fell out was off the old handbrake guide, because everything else seems to be fitting together. I don't see anywhere else another spring would go. And the handbrake cable also has tension spring on it, so when you pull it, it's going to spring back anyway. Right, so next, time to go under the van and route it to where I want it to be, hook it up to the part that connects to the dashboard. So this is the last bit. I'm not putting the drum back on until such times as I've got the handbrake set up, because I may have to adjust this down here. But stick with me, I'll be back shortly. Okay, as you can see, that's the old handbrake cable, runs up through there where it snaps into place, and it's fed through, and there's a spring connected here which holds it. Now I can't get that bolt off, I may have to grind that out of the way, but we'll have a little look. This, I have to get out first, is this side, and then pull it in and drop it into place on that little area there. You can see where the old one is, so I'll take that out. So that's the first one, get that out, feed the new cable into place. Right, and it goes away along here and at the back. Right, as you can see, I'm progressing to the angle grinder because I can't get the cable out. Where it's actually mounted, it's stuck, so I'm just going to cut the end off, and I'm also going to utilise the original spring that's holding the current one, which is just make out down there. So what I'll do is just cut that old cable out of the way and then get the new one fitted. I'll see how it goes once we're done. But yeah, angle grinder, never a good sign. Right, okay, that's the cable on and fitted. Right, okay, that's the cable on and fitted. I've zip tied it, the original mount inside. It was the other one was zip tied onto the suspension leaf. I'll probably just do the same. And it's just a case of putting the drum and the wheel back on. It says, just a case, that took a long time. At the moment it's 20 past 12, I've been out here since about 9 o'clock this morning. It's 3 hours it's taken to change one. It took an hour to get the hub off, and it's taken about another hour just to fit the bloody cable into place. Anyway, nearly done, so we'll pop this together and we'll see how it works. Right, okay, that's the wheel back on, everything all tightened up. Moment of truth, let's try this handbrake, shall we? Oh, that feels much nicer. Right, we're going to start the van up, give the brakes a wee going over, make sure they're okay. This is what you should do. Once you've done any work with the brakes, you have to remember that you may need to pump the pedal a few times to get the brakes working. There we go, back to braking. I'll drive along, see how it goes. Try the handbrake. Oh, that didn't sound healthy at all. Something went pop, and I think it was the other bloody cable. Right, time to go.